What makes Eagle's Tower such a unique and interesting dungeon? Hi, my name's Giga, and today we will be looking into Link's Awakening's most memorable dungeon. Most dungeons in Link's Awakening follow the standard Zelda formula. Well, actually, more correctly, they created the standard Zelda formula, but that's kind of besides the point. Find small keys, find key item, find boss key, repeat. There isn't really anything wrong with this design. It exists for a reason. It's a simple design and simple to play through. Every once in a while, though, Nintendo would create these dungeons that were more about solving a central puzzle instead of just finding the right path. Link's Awakening's 7th level, Eagle's Tower, is one of these such dungeons. Small keys are almost non-existent, and most of the dungeon is explorable even without the key item. In fact, the only thing you need the Mirror Shield for is to get into the game's 8th dungeon, Turtle Rock. So, if you can go everywhere in the dungeon, what is the challenge? What's the point? Well, as I said 2 paragraphs ago, there is a central puzzle in the dungeon that you have to solve to reach the boss. The dungeon's first floor is designed in a way that guides the player to this bottom right staircase. No matter where you fall, you will find your path leads you back to this stairwell. This is super important because on the 2nd floor, you will find this big, heavy ball. This is the true key item of Eagle's Tower. Get out of here, Mirror Shield. I have a new best friend. There are these 4 big pillars in the central rooms of the 2nd floor. You can destroy these pillars by throwing your massive ball at them. Once all 4 pillars are destroyed, the 4th floor crashes into the 3rd floor of the dungeon, creating a new and improved 3rd floor. This change gives you access to the boss's lair at the top of the dungeon. The challenge of this dungeon comes from trying to get the ball into the same location as the pillars. See, the layout of the pits, walls, and switch blocks force the player to leave the ball in certain locations, for them to later return and then take the ball somewhere else. This forces the player to understand the layout of this entire dungeon in order to understand where they should be leaving the ball, and also where they should be throwing it. Unlike many other dungeons in this game, the entire level becomes a massive puzzle that the player has to understand. If other dungeons are a crossword puzzle, then this dungeon is a Rubik's Cube. In this room, the player must make these enemies match suits, throw the ball across the gap, then travel around the dungeon, bomb these walls, and then hookshot across this gap. Just so you can get to this one pillar. And you have to do that all without falling down any pits. I said, without falling down any of the pits. Without falling down any of the pits. This creates a memorable experience, as the player must master the dungeon's layout in order to progress. But fuck these card suit guys, I hate them so much, and I had to rematch the suits every single time I fell down to the 1st floor and came back up, and then they'd be reset, and then you'd have to match their suits again, and then you'd fall down, and then you'd have to match their suits again, and it's fucking annoying. Question remains though. How can we apply this design philosophy to Super Dungeon Maker? Obviously we don't have pillars, nor a heavy ball, yet. Fire Chick, you listening? Wait, before you continue this video, if you want to play this dungeon yourself before, spoiling it, I suggest you pause the video now, go play this level displayed on screen, and come back when you're finished. You played it? Yeah? You made sure to like it, right? Okay, we can continue then. While we cannot replicate the mechanics exactly, we can replicate the idea of the dungeon itself, being the puzzle, by utilizing the incredible channel system this game has. By placing 4 channel triggers that have to be activated from different entrances, we can simulate the pillar destruction mechanic. From there, we have to create a series of rooms that can only be accessed after the player understands the dungeon's layout. So, first thing we did was we set up the hookshot as the dungeon's key item. See, the thing is, Eagle's Tower uses the mirror shield as its key item, yet utilizes the hookshot more than the mirror shield. In fact, it doesn't even fucking use the mirror shield. You don't even need to pick it up. But the hookshot creates a unique system. See, by placing gaps and placing torches in certain ways, we can actually create a bunch of shortcuts that the player can use after acquiring the hookshot. Not only that, we can create puzzles within the dungeon that require the hookshot to progress to get to certain offshoot areas that we might then put our switches in. So, as an example, we set up one of the 4 core switches as easily solvable so the player can quickly figure out the overall objective of the dungeon. By revealing the stairwell, we showcase what the player's objective is and how they can accomplish this. We recreated Eagle Tower's iconic room by first removing those stupid card suit enemies and replacing them with a pushable pillar and a button. I also set up a puzzle involving using the hookshot to trigger a bomb barrel instead of just using a bomb item to open the passageway. In this version, you use a pushable pillar to summon this other button. You can stand on that new button to then summon the bomb barrel, which allows you to open the passageway. You then have to move the pillar back over to this other button, which summons the torch that allows you to hookshot across. But before you do that, you have to find your way around. But this time falling doesn't punish you disproportionately by making you redo this stupid little matching. You get the point. The other 2 key buttons can be triggered by understanding switch states and how to get the switch blocks into their respective states. Once all 4 buttons have been pushed down, the center opens up, allowing the player to reach the boss area. Overall, I think I made an even better dungeon than the inspiration. I took the design application that Nintendo applied to the single pillar, and I feel like I applied it to 3 of my key switches. I also reimagined the entire first floor, which now forces you to actually engage with it, outside of, just accidentally falling. That's all for today's video. Subscribe for more Legend of Zelda dungeon breakdowns, as well as more Super Dungeon Maker content. Wait! Before you go anywhere, this is something very important. If you are watching this video before May 10th, 2023, then you are eligible to win a Super Dungeon Maker Steam code. All you have to do to enter is comment what your favorite Zelda dungeon is, and why that's your favorite Zelda dungeon in the comments below. I'll be selecting a random answer that sufficiently answers the question, and you will earn a Super Dungeon Maker Steam code. So, go down into the comments, let me know what your favorite dungeon is. YouTube thinks you might like this video, so you should watch that now.